In 128 million households across America, everyone is asking the same things. What if I get sick? How do I get better? How is everyone else coping? What lies ahead? Tell Me Everything, a place where all of your questions can finally get some answers.
Food as medicine. What a concept. But I've been on the train of that for a very long time. In fact, looky here. I wrote a book on it many, many years ago, over 20 years ago. I knew that food, fasting, cleaning the body out, meditation, silence, yoga would be the reset we all needed to come back to ourselves. And now it's all the rage. So food is medicine. You know, I don't know, but I know this about food. Everybody has a different relationship to it. Some people demonize it, where it's the menace, everything they go towards. Well, no, I can't eat it, how many calories, all that stuff. Some people embrace it, will cook everything, will love eating, and have such a gusto. Today, we try to take you through seeing how different foods could reset you, how different foods could energize you, to alleviate pain with you, to take you and maybe reset the gut, and, to put back energy in your immunity, which we all need now in this COVID time. So we're all looking at our bodies now, and food is like, what do I want to eat? What do I want to cook? What do I want to be like when I eat? Thin, fat, all those words are out the window now when we were quarantined. We just need to be nourished with food. And that's a whole different conversation. So today's conversation with the two wonderful women we have will also take you in a direction maybe you haven't gone before. How to look at food, how to look at herbs, how to look at concoctions you never thought of to help you, heal you, and maybe even make you happy about eating things you never thought you would eat. So open your mind, get hungry, and watch, and see if you can come up with something that will make you just feel a little better. So this is food as medicine, and not Haagen-Dazs medicine, not Dunkin' Donuts medicine, not I'm going to make a meatloaf medicine. This is really food as medicine. This is when it is the cure and not the other part of what you're doing with it. And this season now, and it's changed, the fall, we're falling into where our bodies are a little bit more chilled, where the season, the morning and night are changing, the sun. And if our bodies are not ready to change, and boy, we've seen a lot of change in 2020, mentally, physically, spiritually, we have to have things that shore us up and kind of make the foundation a little stronger. And I have the best medicine woman with me. I love her. She's got it. Some people just have it. She's got it. I'm going to let her tell you all about herself. Judith, tell me everything.
Thank you. So my name is Judith Elvira Betesh. I'm a integrative holistic health coach, and I am a functional nutrition therapist.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
And I am working on getting double board certified. So I'm continuing my learning. I believe there's never an end to how much you can learn and how much you can help people with. For me, this all started really from my grandmother, Elvira, who I'm named after. She just was always creating these beautiful meals for our large family. And it was just a beautiful staple in our homes that we always were creating these items from scratch. And to me, that spoke of love, but that also spoke later on of healing for me. My husband, that I got married in 2007, he actually had a kidney transplant.
Wow.
Early
on in your marriage?
Actually, a few months before we got married.
What a honeymoon you had.
we
That
you
was
know,
love. That's true love.
He's my soulmate. He's my best friend.
Yes.
And his body didn't agree with that transplant, with the transplanted kidney. And I worked along with the doctors to figure out how to make him more comfortable. He actually suffered for 10 years on and off, in and out of hospitals,
Wow.
medication, surgery, stents, you name it. He's been through the mill. He's actually my favorite customer right now.
The pay is good.
The foods that we introduced really kept him off of anesthesia, kept him from having pain. We really saw how the food made a very big difference in his healing and his recovery. He's doing so beautifully that I work with his doctor.
Wow.
And we are able to lower his medication with the doctor's consent, of course, but he takes much less medication than a regular transplant.
Now, were you
recipient.
ever sick?
I
You had to
yes,
get better from?
Yes.
All
We
warriors.
all have a story.
We all have a
story. I got very sick from Lyme disease as well. Thank God, with the natural healing modalities that I learned in school and that propelled me to continue learning, I feel great. I'm symptom free. I am.
So let food be thy medicine is
Food-
really your credo. I mean,
Food
really,
is-
literally your
food
credo.
is my medicine.
Food is your medicine.
Food is my medicine. This
So
is
tell me, give me a little bit here, and then I want to bring somebody on who has some burning questions,
Okay.
because I like to take a convert who believes in it but doesn't know what to do.
I'm going to tell you one thing. When you buy a home, when you buy a car, you want to upkeep that. You want to clean the house. You want to paint the house. You want to clean the gutters. If you don't clean and upkeep your possessions, they're going to fall apart. The same works with our body. These are just some of the creations that I made.
Let's go, do it.
We'll go with this one first. So this is actually raw honey, chopped up garlic from the farmer's market, Union Square, and some fresh rosemary.
Your husband and you like this garlic breath? It's good? Okay, good.
Delicious on bruschetta,
Oh,
on
now
lamb,
we're talking.
on asparagus.
Oh, my gosh.
We could talk to all types
But
of...
this helps the lungs, doesn't it?
This is very good for the immune system, because you want your immune system to be as strong as possible to deal with any bacteria that might come, viral, COVID, anything that's out there. I mean, COVID's not the only thing going on in the world right now.
know that. It's
But
just getting,
we-
it's a superstar now, but it's not the only
taking
thing.
the stage, but we want to be as healthy as we can, and this is delicious. It smells good. I actually made this 2 months ago, and I'm going to leave it for another 4 months in the cupboard in a dark
You're
area.
going to give me a little, right?
Of course we'll give you
Okay.
some. So this is one item.
Okay.
This is beautiful, first of all. This is just calendula flowers, which you can eat, but I made an oil because it's very healing for the skin. It's good for blemishes, it's good for eczema, it's good for all types of...
Can I smell?
Of course you can.
I'm a very touchy-feely.
And it's beautiful.
Oh, this is divine.
And it's beautiful.
Dabble me some.
We'll put the finger in.
Yeah,
and
put the finger in.
go. Enjoy.
Oh my God, it's heaven.
Yeah,
Ladies, forget La Mer, forget all those other rich creams. This is from the
straight from-
garden cream.
And it's made with love.
Right,
And
20?
This is
Okay.
This is the newest craze that we've been making for the past 7 months now. This is called tepache. It's actually a fermented
Tepache?
tepache.
Okay, we're going to put the spelling on for you.
It's a Mexican drink. They use it in Mexico a lot. It's fermented.
Tequila?
You can and tequila.
Okay.
What it is it's literally, I mean, you could see it's pineapple skins, cinnamon sticks, anise. We put some
Oh,
jalapeno.
you're leaving me some of everything
And
today.
we leave it 4 days out of the fridge, and then you put it in the fridge, and it is, oh wait, sorry, half a cup of brown sugar, because it ferments.
And what does it do? What is it for?
Your gut
Oh, no.
is your brain.
Oh, no,
is
you're
your-
not leaving. Handcuff this woman. Keep her hostage.
Your gut is your digestion is all in the gut. Now, your gut is your second brain. If your gut is off, everything else is not going to
I
work.
totally know that. And that's why it's somebody I want to bring on right now who has had a lot of gut issues. Now, we're not going to go into it, but in the general scope of it, he'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay?
Looking forward.
You, give me a second.
Come, bring it on.
Where are you, Charlie? So everybody knows Charlie, and Charlie and I are doing Tell Me Everything, and he's been through hell. Can I say hell? All right, he's been through hell. And he's had 7 operations, or 6 or 5, it doesn't matter. After 2, we're not counting anymore. So what I want I need him to stay strong so we can finish this up for you people. So Judith is going to take him on a little journey of how to shore up for the new season. Judith, he's all yours.
Okay, Judith, first of all, these look like biology experiments to me, okay? I thought there was some living creature in here in formaldehyde, so I really didn't know what this was.
Breaking Bad Part 2.
I mean, I really had no idea what this stuff was. So,
Whole food.
after listening to your explanation to Pamela, I now know I definitely need all of these things on the table. And I intend to buy all of these things. But my question is that I grew up with a very, very sensitive gut, quite frankly. My 7 surgeries, quite frankly, had nothing to do with my sensitive gut. It had to do with a very rare illness that we don't want to talk about.
She said the gut is the mirror to everything. So you didn't really know that your sensitive gut didn't make that other thing happen to your life.
Absolutely, I don't know that.
And we'll never know all of our stuff.
Because you have to go through 1 year of the worst pain of your life to get to a diagnosis of my condition. That's the problem.
And many people are suffering now, and they are suffering
in silence.
In silence, with not knowing how to get better, not knowing if they'll get better. And you got better, and I got better. And she's here to make other people better. So
one thing I'm going to say is that fear of not knowing what you have
is the worst.
Is even worse. It'll just worsen whatever you have going on.
Now we're talking about the general public. In general, we're all going to be so afraid of the next cold this fall, the next flu, COVID or otherwise, the next stomach virus. What should we all do in general? What can we do in general? He, I, male, female, old, young. That's you. Give me my little grab bag that I have to have right now.
So what I tell people is this: you love yourself. You want to feel good. Whatever you put in your body has the power to hurt you or heal you. So do we want to do poison, or do we want to do healthy, healing foods? So it's really, you have to make the choice. And then when you do make the choice, are you eating it? Are you chewing it right? Are you digesting it properly? Are you absorbing those vitamins and minerals? So the first thing I tell my clients, off the bat, make a smart choice, make an educated choice. Why are you eating out of stress? Are you just putting something on the plate and eating by the TV or watching something? Take a minute, enjoy the colors. Things are beautiful. I tell my clients 6 colors on your plate, at least twice a day.
Yes.
Every vegetable, every fruit has a healing property that can really help your digestion.
Do you have 3 universal supplements, or 1 food, 2 supplements, whatever? 3 things I could say this fall I'm putting these 3 things in my knapsack, and
here's my favorite.
Okay.
My favorite. Everyone has a thyroid, and we want our thyroid to work as great as optimal as it can. So Brazilian nuts are full of selenium. And we all need selenium. Wow. So instead of taking a pill and popping a pill, which sometimes we do need it because we're not eating enough of the clean food, and then the farmers are not putting enough of, that's a whole nother ballgame we're not going into. But have 3 Brazilian nuts. 3 Brazilian nuts is enough selenium for a day. We all have hormones.
Mine is sleeping, but let's go. I have them. I know I do.
We want healthy hormones.
Right.
A great way, and this is simple. Bugs Bunny, carrots. Have a carrot on an empty stomach.
Really?
That will help balance your hormones. I see such a difference in menopausal, postmenopausal, you name it, men too.
So in other words, if I didn't eat between breakfast and lunch and I had a raw carrot, like boosting.
You're helping stabilize
carrots
your
hormones.
Will it help my eyesight?
Yes, it will. So you see, you get 2 for 1.
Okay, 2 for,
have a carrot, throw out the donut.
Okay.
Next, I'm very into digestive. Your digestion should work. Now,
Absolutely.
when you see, where does digestion begin? People think it starts in the mouth.
The eyes.
Well, there we go. We got the pro over here. When we look at a food, we think, do I want to eat that? Do I not?
Or
does that appeal to me? Does that appeal to me?
Yes.
Right away, we start creating salivary juices and digestive enzymes. We create all these juices that are going to help break down the food that we're eating. So we eat that food. Now the saliva is working and we're digesting. So I tell everyone, first, of course, chew well. But if you have a cup of hot water or room temperature with lemon, it helps with the digestive enzymes. Or you can have dandelion greens, but some people think it's a little too sour.
Too bitter sometimes.
Yeah, too
I have
bitter.
hot water and lemon in the morning a
But
lot.
before a meal. In the morning on an empty stomach, definitely it'll balance your pH. But before a meal, it'll actually help digestion work smoothly. And when you're calm and you're in a parasympathetic state, things will just work better.
I want to tell you something. I feel like we could do carrots, we could do Brazil nuts, we could do meditation.
Water with lemon.
And we could do water with lemon. Everybody watching can do those 3 things.
Simple.
And watch a little Netflix, chill, have a little glass of wine.
Have some
Be
tapache.
happy, have some tapache. Coming to Whole Foods soon, I'm sure. Everybody, thank you, Judith. I want to tell you something. You told us everything, maybe more than everything we even asked. But
My pleasure.
Charlie and I, we now know we can get through a few more shows. I love you.
Thank you.
You
Thank
have
you
been
for
a
having
goddess.
me.
You have been a shaman. Keep going, lady.
Thank you so much. And I wish you both complete health.
Thank you
Remember,
very much.
food is medicine.
Food is medicine. No, not what you're eating right now watching us. Hi, it's Pamela, Tell Me Everything, and I'm here with Bonnie Nasar, who's going to tell you all about who she is and what she does. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, thank you, Pamela. So I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, which means that I have formal training in nutrition education, and that's a little bit different than a nutritionist. I specialize.
And people often confuse them?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I really came to develop this unique niche based on my own personal experiences, and also based on the fact that I grew up with a father who was a rheumatologist who dealt with chronic pain conditions as well.
So what fascinates me is that you chose nutrition, and I know chronic pain involves opioids, it involves movement, but nutrition for pain. Tell me how those two get connected in somebody.
So a lot of foods that we eat have been shown to be inflammatory in nature, whether it's, studies that are done in people or in animal models. We've found that there are certain foods that can elicit a response, an inflammatory response in the body.
So if I were to come to you and I'd say, I have these backaches, they just don't go away, I do yoga, whatever, what were the 3 things you tell me to eliminate in my diet?
So for, generalized pain and inflammation going on, first of all, you'd obviously want to check on inflammatory markers and see what's going on in the body. But generally speaking, once a physician offers a diagnosis, then I see the patient. What we would do is, eliminate, for instance, if it's, let's say, arthritic in nature, we would, try to take away like the potatoes and the peppers and things like that.
The good stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes, unfortunately, it's the foods that people love that offend them the most. So we do have to do our due diligence.
So we're attracted to what really could hurt us. That works in a lot of ways in our life, Bonnie.
So oddly, it can happen. Sometimes the foods that people crave the most can be the foods that often offend them. But also sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes people inherently know that a food is not good for them and never touch it too. So I've seen both ways.
So, chronic pain now is, I would say, in a lot of ways. Would this work for somebody who's like in depression, like a chronic emotional state? In other words, it's not a physical pain from an arthritic condition or inflammatory condition. Would this method work?
So it's interesting that you mentioned that. There have been a few studies with patients in different, situations. One would be, for instance, a patient that was in a psychiatric ward. There was a study done where they took them and they made them gluten-free. They treated them like celiac patients. Some of those patients improved significantly and no longer had the diagnosis. And the reason is because they were undiagnosed as celiac disease patients or gluten intolerant patients. So we've seen that. We've also seen studies where, they just did kind of change the diet, increase the fruits and vegetables, the nutrient-dense foods, and they found that yeah, there was absolutely a difference.
So I know this is a crazy generalization, but since we do it in the world in many other ways, do more women suffer chronic pain and inflammation kind of ailments or men?
So that is a very interesting question. And I think, it's hard to say. It seems that women do, but men are kind of seen as like weak if they admit that they have chronic pain. So they may not admit it as much. I can tell you that in my own private practice, I've had men come and say that doctors have told them that they have a psychiatric ailment rather than a chronic pain ailment, the same as women. So I don't really see, at least in the patients that I've seen, I feel that the doctors like equally kind of like to push it off as like a psychiatric diagnosis, whether it's depression, anxiety, or something more severe.
Do you see the future of pain management and veganism and different kind of eating plant foods and all the new ways food is being a superstar in your life, or at least something we concentrate on a lot now? Do you see that as the next forefront in pain management or in healing in general?
So I think that, looking at food is so important, especially for the patients that don't really have good tools, traditional tools to alleviate their pain. Having said that, though, it's like an interesting phenomenon, because the more we focus on it, the more we also, almost in a weird way, focus too much on it, and we kind of become like a diet obsessed culture. And people are always surprised, like when I speak to my patients, and I had one patient that said, I love honey and I'm not willing to give up honey. And I said, do not give up the honey. Let's say we have a tablespoon a day of honey, to add to your foods. How about that? So it's not about this food is inherently evil and you must avoid it at all costs. You need to kind of take the mental health balance into account with the, chronic pain aspect of it, and find the sweet spot that works enough for the mental health to be good and enough for the pain to be lowered.
I find food so psychological for people. When I had my fasting juicing company, having them do a day of juices, getting off all foods, it was like they felt like they were punished, like a little children went up to without their cookies and milk, and it's such a psychological trigger with food. So I could understand what the pain, in this time of COVID, would you say, I know there's a big leap and you could even be psychic to tell me, but would you say there's a better diet to help avert us not being more susceptible to the virus? Is there such a thing?
So, what we really want with a virus like this is to be in the best health that we can be in before you get it. And it's at this point kind of inevitable unless the vaccine comes out, soon. So really, you want to be in optimal health. How can we be in optimal health? What is been shown to be, the best diet overall, over all the studies that we've done on nutrition over the years? And it's always shown to be a Mediterranean diet. Why? Because it is so rich in fruits and vegetables. It is rich in essential fatty acids, omega-3 fatty acids, and that's really the crux of it, is getting the nutrient-dense food. So in America, for instance, we really like to have the, complete opposite, what we call the standard American diet, the SAD. SAD diet is, a lot of brown foods, a lot of processed foods. Yeah. So these brown foods, these foods that, are very sugary and very heavy on greens, that's not what we want to see. We want to see a plate that's filled with lots of color, not artificial color, obviously, but, the color of the fruits and the vegetables. And the more of those nutrients you get, the better tools your immune system has to work. So that's really what we want to see, is more fruits and vegetables on those plates every single meal, so that you can optimize your nutrition by having, the right nutrients for your immune system to utilize.
Amen to that one. And, I have a question that I think I'll end with. Every few years there's a food trend. Kale, then it was cauliflower. It was almost in your gasoline for your car. It was everywhere. Cauliflower. What do you see as emerging now, given the virus, given the immune system, everybody shoring up? What do you see emerging as the next superfood hero that everybody's kind of circling around?
So that is definitely an interesting question. And what I would say, which is going to be an unusual answer, is that there's a lot of dietitians now kind of turning that idea on its head and really trying to say, you know, we're anti-diet dietitians, and we're really trying to, you know, utilize, let's say, you know, these societal and social norms that used to be that, you know, currently, in, let's say, from the 80s onwards till now, where it's like, this is the food you have to eat. No, this is the food you have to eat. No, this is the trendy diet. No more of that. Just eat. Eat well. We don't want to hear about, you know, which food is the next superfood. We want it to be, you know, a cumulative experience. And that cumulative experience, it's not about what you ate in that one meal on that one day or that one juice fast. It's about the whole entire like lifetime of eating, and that being, you know, a positive experience for the person, and also nutrient dense, meaning lots of vitamins and minerals in there.
So the last thing is, so given keto, paleo, vegan, all of the trends of diets following a life plan, do you think one works better than the other for inflammation and inflammatory?
So yes, in my experience with chronic pain patients, the lower carbohydrate diet, whether it's keto or it's just a very low carbohydrate diet, has been shown to be effective in pain reduction, increasing those omega-3 fatty acids. Those are the good fats. We're not talking about like butter and eggs all day. We're talking about avocado. We're talking about olive oil. So increasing, you know, the fats that are good for us, decreasing the carbohydrates that are bad for our bodies. And that has been shown to have a really positive effect on pain management.
So Bonnie, you told me a lot, and it's a lot of food for thought, and I'm sure you hear that all the time, but I want to say that I think you're going to help a lot of people now because they are confined. And their refrigerators don't have so much colorful things because it's what they can get, what they can afford. But knowing that in their mind will help them trigger down the aisles what to buy. I thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
That was a lot to swallow, wasn't it? Well, all right, let's start with, I know that some of the foods I may be eating, that's why my back hurts, or maybe it could be a million other things, but inflammation, that's a biggie. That is the cause of so many diseases. Heart disease, arthritis, all of it. So Bonnie had a lot to say there, and I think that I'm going to actually look at that approach, go completely anti-inflammatory diet, and see what that does to my little achy body lately. And you know, with Judith, well, those concoctions thrill me. I will taste anything and try anything, and who knows what it is. I know the oil felt great. I'd love to make things in my own kitchen, so I make my own oils and all of that stuff. You know, it was a little bit of a foray into a scientist way of looking at things. And yet, I know when people come up with remedies, they do come up with it from a passion in their own lives of healing something, of wanting something to be better. And when they can't buy it or go get it, they create it themselves. It's just like any great product, hence the Shark Tank. Well, this was like a little bit of a Shark Tank for food and food as medicine. I am trying everything. I hope you do too. Or pick one thing a week. I always tell people when they wanted to eliminate things from their diet before a fast, give up the thing least and then work towards the thing most that you don't want to give up. And by the end of the week, you'll see it's not so hard. You know, traveling in the food world now is not easy. We are bombarded with what we should eat, all the different varieties of what to eat. But I know this, we have to eat. So we might as well eat well, and we might as well eat for our health.